Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. It is Thursday. I'm looking at my calendar, February 22nd, 2024. And my name is Betty Sakosha. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I live in Massachusetts. And I wanted to share with you a card that was destined for the trash that I found a way to save today. So I thought perhaps these tips could be helpful for you as well. So I'm going to flip you down. Flip you down. There we go. Zoom you in. That means drop my camera down. Okay. There is my information. Should you need me, I can be found at bettyboop.stampinup.net. And occasionally I post on booptique.wordpress.com. All right, so let me tell you where things went poor. I previously was making a card design that I saw that I thought was a really good idea, where you take 3 separate pieces of cardstock, or excuse me, DSP, put them together and then just slice twice. And this will give you 3 separate pieces, and then you can put them together on a card front. Where I failed miserably is that everything that I had a very light background. So I actually don't even have a sample because I failed and I stopped. But if you had DSP that had very different colors in it, like a really dark and a medium and a light background to them, the effect of this was really cool. When I put it all together, I ended up with 3 of these that I didn't love because I felt like there wasn't enough definition between the 3. So I was on the verge of tossing it, and I said, no, you can save it. So here's what I came up with, and I hope you find this potentially helpful for problems you might have had in the past. Okay, so what I did was that I took my my blends. These are the sweet, nope, these are Poppy Parade because that's the color I'm using here is Poppy Parade. Poppy Parade blends. And I'm going to use the dark one on my sample here so I can show you up close what I did. I have like a, I don't even know what you call this. I have been told, I thought it was a quilter's, what do you call this? Ruler, guide, whatever. So you can see, so you can put it right on top of something and actually see through it. And it's very handy to figure out sizes of things without pulling a card apart. So this I've just had in my craft room forever. So what I'm going to do is just line this up. Any ruler would do for this. I'm going to line this up right along that seam. I think you can see that seam right there. And I'm going to use the, well, I did on my samples, I used the blunt tip, so I think I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to use the blunt tip here. Hey, Linda. Just showing how I rescued a card from the trash. Okay, so I'm going to use the blunt tip. Let me zoom you. Whoa! Let me zoom you out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. And I'm going to run it right along my ruler and right along that seam. Oh, I forgot to say, the reason I did this was that I was trying to cut some strips of paper, and I was lazy and I was cutting like a little strip of already cut up paper. And then it's really hard to cut very small strips with my cutter when you're not starting with a big piece of paper. So I was not getting even strips because that was my original thought, was that I would put strips of paper down here, which certainly could save it. It certainly could help for sure. But that wasn't working for me, so I moved on. Okay. All right, so we did that one. Now I'm going to pull in this one here and just zoom. I'm not going to zoom you. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm going right up against that seam, taking my blend, and just running it right up to the edge. And boom, now you have definition, which has helped. Not saved it quite yet, but has helped. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to do, let me zoom you out just, why does this happen every time? I know, because you're not good at this, Betty. The zooming out thing is a lot for me. Sorry, I'm making you sick. Okay, we're going to leave it right there. Okay, I wanted to use the Biggest Wish stamp set. I'm using this in an upcoming class that I'm having tonight, and I had last night. And I'm concerned for the longevity of this stamp set. I really, really like it, but it has been around for a number of years. And within the next month or so, we should be knowing what's retiring from the Stampin' Up! Catalog. And I am concerned that this may be something that is going. So I wanted to spread the love with this as long as I can. And so I'm just a little heads up. I have no intel, but I'm concerned. Okay, so I wanted to use this stamp set here. And I wanted to use my tailored tags, which I have put down somewhere and don't know where I put. But the tailored tags are a bunch of tags that look kind of like this, but they come in varying sizes. Let me see if I didn't put them away. Okay. They've gone missing. In any case, I'm also concerned for those as well, because they too have been around for a little while. So take a look at those in the annual catalog, because these have served me well and will continue to serve me well, but I want you to know about them. Okay, so I took some tailored tags and I was trying to see what I could come up with here with my, oh, they're right in front of me. Okay, there they are. See, they come in a lot of different sizes and 2 different styles. They are actually a little bit difficult to layer, and I'm going to talk to you about that in just a minute. But I started with this one here and thought, that's too much. That is way too big for the card. So let me see if I could work with something smaller. So I wanted to work with the happy birthday, because who doesn't need birthday cards? And the beauty of this stamp set is that you can kind of stamp things right on top of each other. So what I did was that I took my, I'm working with the colors that Stampin' Up! Has told me go together, and they are correct. So I'm working with the Pool Party and the, technically I think it's Sweet Sorbet, but I'm using, actually I am using Sweet Sorbet. I use Poppy background, but yeah, it's all good. They're very close. Okay, I don't want to do, well, I'll show you. I could do this. I could do that birthday, and then do the happy right on top of it. But my gut tells me that's a little bit too much. That's too much for me. I like it a little bit more subtle. So what I'm going to do is take my birthday and decaf it. That means stamp it on your scrap. Stamp it right on here. And then stamp the happy right on top of it. And I do like to put it diagonal. That way I don't have to worry about it being straight or centered or anything. So now I got that. Now I'm going to run this through my Big Shot, or my Big Boss, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, using the smallest tag that I could possibly make sure would fit in there. So it's going to fit just like that. You can see it's really, really close. But it works. And I think that's a better ratio than what I had before. So through the magic of what I've already done, I can pull it out here. Okay, so it fits perfectly on that tag. Clearly, I didn't finish. So let me bring back my happy. Stamp that directly on there. There we go. Okay. Now, previously, I thought that I would, so you can see me kind of building this here, right? I thought that it kind of needed a frame around the outside. I tried to add a tag behind it. So I cut out the next larger tag, which gives you this kind of look, but then your little end pieces here where you put your ribbon through don't really line up well, or if they do, then you get this big end here, which I didn't love. Maybe it doesn't bother you, but it was not making me happy, right? So then I thought, well, what if I use my blends and colored in right around the edge? And that's okay, but if you're not really precise, it could make you nuts, and it was making me nuts. So I was like, all right, that's not going to work. So my latest trick that I've been doing a lot is using my ink pad and taking my stamp, see if I can show you sideways here. I'm going to take my image and just squish right into the ink pad. And then I get that on the side. And it works really well if you've got straight edges, or you can do it with a circle. It becomes a problem if you've got a flag tip. And by that I mean, if this were to go in like that, then it becomes difficult to get into your pad. But if you don't have that, that's a really easy way to give yourself an extra layer without having an extra layer. Okay, so now for some ribbon on this little baby. I'm going to pull in my Sweet Sorbet, what do we call this? Sweet Sorbet bordered ribbon. And I'm going to cut, I don't know, about 3 or 4 inches of that, probably 4 inches. And let me give you a little tip that that works for me. If you are stamping by yourself, which happens often, right? It's great to stamp with other people, but often we are alone in our little happy place. So this is a good tip if you need an extra hand. So what I'm going to do is I've pulled out my glue dots. I'm going to put my ribbon through my tag like so. And then I'm going to take my glue dot, squish it right onto my ribbon. Hopefully it sticks. If it doesn't, I'll help peel it off a little bit. Okay, so can you see that little glue dot on there? What I'm going to do is just fold this over so it kind of holds its place while I do my next step, which is to add some baker's twine. So I'm just going to add a little bit of baker's twine. Again, I'm going to cut probably about 4 inches of that. I find it very difficult to tie this around here. If I haven't secured this in some way, or I don't have a friend to help out. So this, my glue dot became my friend today. Okay, so I'm just going to tie it in a knot. I'm not really good at tying bows with this. I'd have to leave myself a lot of extra baker's twine, but if you can do it, it would look really cute with a bow on there. Okay, then I'm just going to trim and trim. Let's give this guy a little trim. And this guy. Okay, there we go. So now we have that. Let me see if I can do this without making you sigh. Nope. Oh, Betty, Betty, Betty. No, I can go in that direction. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this over to my card, and I feel like it's a lot more effective than it was previously. I feel like bringing in a little bit more of that poppy or sorbet, or the combination thereof. Sorbet, by the way, is also going away soon because we're bringing in some new ink colors, and so that means they got to make room in the closet. So some colors need to go away. So sorbet definitely will be one that is going away. So if you love it, stock up now, or become very friendly with its counterpart called Poppy Parade. Okay, I don't have my bone folder with me, so I'm using my nail to do this. But here is my background. I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals because this card doesn't have a whole lot going on. There's not a lot of, well, it's got just the right amount maybe of what's going on here, but dimensionals never cost you more to mail. Well, if you don't really pile them up, but several layers of dimensional can certainly squish through the mail machines, so I wouldn't worry about that, but that just kind of adds a little bit more. I wish that I had kept an original one so you could see the difference in this, but but once I got going on it, I was like, I'm definitely liking this look more with the definition between the DSPs that are very similar. Now, the last thing you can add to this are these adhesive-backed hearts and flowers. They are currently not available, but coming back soon. They're found in the Be Mine suite. So you can't get the whole suite right now because if any part of it is missing, you have to buy things separately. And so you can't actually get the whole suite right now because this is missing, but maybe you have them, or maybe you can get them soon. Or if you don't, you can literally punch a heart out of something that you already own. If you've got a heart punch in some way, you can do that and just add that to it. But what I like about that, I think you can see here, is that that also doesn't add any dimension. So in the end, what started as a card that literally was about to go in the trash, I was doing some cleaning, and I have a collection of things that are not quite right, and I keep those on my desk, and it was time to either get rid of it or fix it. So that was my answer to fixing it, and now I have a card to send for my next birthday need. All right. That's about it. Let me just scoot you around. Oh, scoot you around. There we go. And wish you a happy rest of your, here, I'm going to sit because I can't pull my stand up quick enough. I wish you a great rest of your Thursday. Hope it goes well. Hope you can find something on your desk that, let us know how it is, how you saved it. I would love to know all card saving tricks. All right, thanks for joining me again. You can find anything you saw here today on my website, bettyboop.stampinup.net. Feel free to leave me any questions or comments or any card saving ideas that you have. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.